Just because we were so ready. Hi. Can you hear and see us?
How's everyone doing? Let us know if the sound is okay and the image. Just right before we started, Flavia started making really gross noises with her mouth. Probably will be able to watch it replay. So be on the lookout for that.
Sorry.
My God, this is so in front
Please
of me.
Don't be in the... Really?
Yeah, like in the chat, So I feel like I'm getting crossed-eyed because of that. Ah, that's so much better.
There's no space, mix.
That's so much better. Don't touch my stuff. It's okay. No mind. That's better. Well, as always, we are chaotic as we start, and then we go chilling.
It's part of the process now.
Yes.
If you're not, something's wrong.
Yeah. So, how's everyone? You froze on my computer. Maybe refresh the page.
Yeah. Neka? Oh, we froze for...
I don't like it.
How many? Are we froze?
Oh, no. Let's check the internet.
It's fine here. Oh. What are you doing?
Is that how we do it?
Yeah.
I don't like this. How do I do it?
That's right.
I don't like it.
Let me do it. Just click I consent and then we can do it. Wow, it's definitely slower than it should be.
Yeah, but it's fine. We need like 10.
Yeah, and everybody's using internet nowadays, like this past few weeks. So no, we need 10 of
we
these.
need to see the upload.
That's great.
It's 50 something.
You're fine now.
Okay. Well, okay.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay.
Great. No reason to start spiraling.
No. I pressed you. Okay. My son's puppy, Maliki, is feeling sick. I ask if you can send love this way.
Always.
Absolutely. Oh.
Henny's being the technician. Well, you know how great I am at it. Not really. So yeah, maybe it's just a convolution of energies. That's what Yeshua is saying.
Yeah.
That just everyone together like woo, and then it stabilizes. So our technology is not suited for the type of energy we're dealing with now.
Not suited for aliens.
Yes. So as we said, we have Yeshua and Mary Magdalene to talk to us a little bit more about sacred sexuality. We opened this for all tiers this time because we wanted to include everyone in this channeling, in this class, so then you can have a little bit of an idea also what we've been doing on that tier for the past year. We've been learning a lot from the Magdalenas, from Isis and that whole collective, the Ra collective. So we might explore things that you've not heard about if you are not on that tier, the tier 3. So feel free to ask questions. It's okay to ask questions, and they are going to answer you, and we're going to try to keep up in the best of our ability, because I've channeled some stuff for this class from Yeshua and then from Mary Magdalene. They're going to give us a practice, something to do in our own time, and yeah, I think that's it. That's a briefing of what's going to happen.
Yes. Every time Minnie reaches over to adjust something on the computer, I hold my breath. I think I protect myself. Project myself there.
It's like, oh my God, what is she doing? Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about alchemy, Isis and Horus alchemy in specific. We've been consistently working with that theme, with sacred sexuality, and exploring all kinds of points regarding that. And everything is coming together because, as I said, it's been 1 year since we've started studying it together, and they go in cycles, so they will give us some information, and then they will tackle everything that is about that subject, and then they will come back with that subject with something new. And that's so nice, right? That's a master teacher teaching you something, because you see that what we're talking about today, we talked about probably in our third class, I think, with them, and they will approach it in a different way now, in let's say a more mature way, so then they already offered us so many tools to work with, and now we are coming together with more things. So it's going to keep happening like that, and we're going to keep improving, and growing in our practice together with this. So as I said, if you have any questions regarding any of that, they are very open to discuss that with you. And let me just close this here because it annoys the crap out of me if there's anything else opened while we're doing this. But yeah, so I channeled, let's say, a message from Yeshua, and then the class from Mary Magdalene. And I'm going to, as I always do, I'm going to read it for you. I'm going to stutter like a crazy person, which always happens. And I'm going to explain as I'm reading it, and afterwards, I'm going to make that PDF file of the class available for tier 3. So then you can, study in your own time also. But yeah, so, and also that the thing is that Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, they wanted to discuss a little bit about how this practice helped, let's say, keeping the body alive for Yeshua in the cross, and how Mary Magdalene played a role in that. So if you have any questions regarding that, we can tackle them also, after I go through the class and everything, and we go through all of that. So if you have any questions regarding that, they are very open to answer to. And yeah, so shall I just go to the class? Everyone ready? Yay!
I just received some energy here in my head, and the left side, just like, I think we are ready.
Yeah. We were talking to Juliana, and when she said that she saw like a light blinking in her room or something, and then she knew that there was Mary Magdalene, and I told her that she woke me up today too. And I was curious to know if anyone else felt that today, because the feeling that Mary gave me when I was talking to Julie about this was that she did that today for lots of us. So that's like a kind of activation that she sent us prior this class. So probably you're going to be feeling that, in a different level with her. I don't know. So let us know what goes on with you too. It's like Flavia, she just got like, so yep. So I'm going to grab my Chichi.
My Chichi.
The dogs are going crazy. I think that they are a little bit more loud, these days, because their owners are always home. So they're like, come play with us, come dance with us. I woke up last this morning. That's cool.
Oh.
Yeah, some kids as well. Wow.
Awesome.
I woke up at 4 a.m. with cramping. Wow, like cramping in your belly or in some muscle cramp?
I've been feeling weirdly tired and mental mushy today. Don't know if it's related.
That might be an activation, yeah.
Yeah.
I felt the energy of my mother in my dreams last night, which doesn't always happen. That's cool. I felt Mary Magdalene and Yeshua connecting more deeply with me in my yoga practice this morning. Awesome.
I have a question about a surprise.
I'm intrigued.
Ask away.
Yeah.
I was putting clear quartz and orange calcite on my throat in my dream. Maybe some activation.
Wow, absolutely. That's really cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yesterday at night I felt her. Wow. See?
Mm-hmm.
She was like going there. She showed
Yeah.
it to me, some people like being activated, something specific, that I don't know.
I feel like my heart is expanding again. I am swinging in a swing, and it just started moving as my heart started beating harder. Nice.
Yep. That's some alchemy there.
Yeah. When did something happen that my heart started beating harder? Also, that I told you, my heart just yesterday. I was in the bathroom and I'm like, my heart just started beating super hard.
I've had a really hard time the last
Yeah.
couple of days. Yeah. It's Yeshua was talking to me about this today because I was feeling overwhelmed in my body too.
Mhm.
It's like we've been needing grounding more often, and more of that. It's like never is enough, grounding. And that he was saying that there's just so much energy, it's like the vortex of energy is so intense right now that so much is coming up, and it's like that for most of us, I feel like.
Mhm.
So you're not alone in that.
Yeah. This is my first Sacred Sexuality class.
Yay!
That's cool. I feel something is happening and in a way seeking confirmation on it and wonder if they will know what I'm talking about without me having to state it yet.
Well, they know. Probably, yeah. Very likely. I watched yesterday channeling this morning, took a nap, and now I'm back with you. My husband thinks I'm being very lazy. Well, I've been feeling so sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
So sleepy.
I have been waking up like 4 times before I really wake up.
Yeah.
I see and feel like beings in female and male cardinal were right outside my window yesterday.
Oh.
And this morning, this is a symbol of Yeshua and Mary.
Oh, that's
that
so
is so
cool.
cute. Also.
See?
Mm-hmm.
They're showing up. Yeshua told me that Yeshua and Hillel, right before I went to bed, I was going to the bathroom, and then they were like, you're going to start seeing us. And I'm like, well, but can it be not now? Because that's kind of creepy. Not in the middle of the night when I'm going to the bathroom, show up, in the meadow right in front of our house, just keep us, and then they're like, okay.
I'm not sure if it's an activation, but it was funny when I laid in bed and my heartbeat sounded like a techno rave dance beat. I feel like I am the party.
I feel like that too sometimes.
I feel like you are the party.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
Yes. I have black tourmaline where I sleep to ground.
Yeah. I took mine and I brought it here because one of those days we were doing like a class or something, and I felt, well, I need this here, and I forgot taking it back to my room. Yeah. Maybe that's why, Joffrey. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah. Have needed more grounding.
Grounding is important. Feeling all you say and transform it. Yeah. Energy is moving up through me now. Heart is opening, feeling throat chakra. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, and they do that a lot. It's like if you're here, it's like you were one way or another invited, and they always give those activations, from within us. And the more that it's like the way that they speak sometimes, even with their messages, the way that they put the words together, it's such activation. Like a big activation. And the thing for me is that even if I channel a message, I read it today, and then in a couple of weeks I read it again, it's like completely different. You take another another meaning with that.
I haven't had my period in a while, menopause, I guess, and it came during the full moon.
Yay! That's cool. That's awesome.
So powerful. This whole family is definitely freeing party.
Right?
I'm hitting my life.
Okay, so let me start with the class. So it starts with something that Yeshua said, and I'm going to read it for you. Forgive my reading out loud. Alchemy in its roots means transforming, creating, and connecting. It combines energy to make them into something new. That is why we remind you of the power of your intentions. For without intention, alchemy is a loose process, is spiraling in the cosmos of God within. Once intention is placed, this energetic vortex is directed to the intended creation or transformation of oneself and all their endeavors. So he's just talking about how alchemy is present in everything, but once you put intention into it, that's when you create as a conscious sovereign being. That is what we aim to convey to you today. A practice to combine sacred energies into the manifestation of health and flow. You might be wondering, if this is at all news to you, how and why the sexual act can help you in any sacred form. You might wonder why I am the one bringing this to you. And he smiles. He's like, you've been reading stories about me in my lifetime as Yeshua, one Jesus that walked the earth so long ago that is not at all relatable to you anymore. I come today as one with you. For in truth, time is not relevant with the awareness of God. I am your friend, your family, your partner. I, like you, incarnated in a physical body and explored all it had to offer. Since a very young age, I was initiated by alchemy masters to learn to explore and manipulate energies in all forms. I learned to perceive all things on earth. Well, I'm sorry. I learned to perceive all things on the earth reality plane as a conjunction of molecules that were formed of the same time of atom, the same core, if you will. I mastered manipulating those energies so deeply that I eventually could heal my own body even from the hardest wounds, even from being nailed in a cross for hours. I could keep the body alive. I, however, had profound and crucial help from my alchemy partner. You see, we chose it that way. We chose to embody the divine sun and the divine moon in different bodies so we could hold that energy as one. This is given the fact that the frequency on Holy Mother Earth at that perceived time was not high enough so we could do it alone, and it was, again, a collective choice. At your present awareness of time, frequencies on Earth are spiraling upwards in an infinite vortex of love. And by design, those energies are anchoring on the planet so deep that one might do this work with or without a partner. So he's explaining why they chose to do that together and not only alone, because that kind of energy was not anchored enough on earth for them to be able to have this kind of activation in their bodies and not destroy the body, and not lose the body because it was too much. So that is also why we receive activations a little bit at a time, so you don't overwhelm your body and your body goes crazy and doesn't know how to exist anymore. Okay.
In truth.
In truth, we are always whole in our essence. It is only our choices of creation, once we choose an individual consciousness, that bring forward the manifestations of how we will explore our reality. In our reality, in what you perceive as 2,000 years ago, I chose to walk the path with a partner, so we could share the activations once we started practicing this alchemy together. We shared the work. I may answer your inquiries about this matter if questions remain. So he's saying that it's not that they needing is not like a good word, because you are whole with yourself, with your divine masculine and divine feminine in your body, and they mastered that first before even they got into a relationship. So they felt whole with themselves. They learned to love themselves completely and unconditionally, so then they could mirror that for each other, and their relationship could be what it was and what it is, right? So, but then he also explains that Earth was not ready for that kind as a collective. And he says that we chose that as a collective, as we are choosing now to anchor that energy on Earth. So that's why they've been talking about that for the past couple of weeks, even, that we did that ceremony together to anchor the energy on Earth. That's why it's so important. And he's saying that if any questions remain about that, you may ask. Miriam, or Mary Magdalene as you often call her, was initiated herself. She learned the magic of Isis and mastered it to a degree that haven't been seen on earth in many, many years. Being a channel of the Christ consciousness, she received codes and activations from Isis herself, preparing her for the role as an incarnated divine mother, an alchemist, and a teacher of the mystery arts. Together we practice the most sacred form of alchemy known to man, and we went and we want to share it all with you. With you. Why? For today, we will teach you a specific technique to heal and energize your own body. So that's where Yeshua stops. So let's go. If you have any questions regarding what he just said, let us know. If not, I'm going to go for what Mary Magdalene said.
This is my first Sacred Sexuality class. Last night I dreamed I was 6 months pregnant. I'm in my 50s and long past ability to make children. I feel it's related to New Earth.
Yeah, I think it probably is. No questions, everyone?
Yeah.
Fine?
We need to mind the delay.
Yeah.
in this
That's
stream.
why I'm
Yeah.
waiting. Because there's a slight delay for who's watching, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were looking at the...
At where? Patreon?
No, I think you were just watching it on your phone.
No, I'm reading with you.
Yeshua, did you ever feel overwhelmed by the energy of the alchemy so that you feel like disconnecting from Mary Magdalene? If so, how did you get through it? Would like to hear from Mary Magdalene too. So let me see. He's saying that not in that instance, he did feel overwhelmed when he was practicing, yes. And he says that there are so many types of overwhelming feelings that when he started practicing it in Tibet and in India with his masters there, he said that it takes practice, even more practice for a male body than a female body, because they learn to hold the orgasm, and to work with that energy. And that's a little bit of what they will explain today and how to work with that. So he's saying that just by being in a male body, there is that thing that the body just wants to release, and you learn to control that. So he's saying that his body felt overwhelmed at times, and also because of the kinds of activations that were happening for him, because it's all he's saying that it's all been part of his role, and he would only be able to do and learn and experience and show everything that he did because of that alchemy, because he opened that space for him in his physicality to contain all that energy and all that information, and then to pass it through. The same for Mary Magdalene. So when they were training to get to those stages, then yes, he's saying that it's only normal that you feel overwhelmed, that you get the poops as we do, as we are mastering it. It takes a while. So in that regard, he says that yes, he felt overwhelmed. And then when he met Mary Magdalene and they started practicing together, he's saying, of course, there were times that it was extremely overwhelming. And because you're not only doing that alone anymore, you are doing with a partner that you absolutely love and adore. And the kind of alchemy that they practice together, he's saying that it would make the energy that would get out of them would illuminate the whole room. It's like the walls would get encoded with light language and stuff when they were practicing sacred sexuality, because it was such a huge awareness that the both of them had. So he's saying, again, my body felt overwhelmed sometimes, and we did have periods where we were not together, Miriam and I, he says. And so we had the opportunity to integrate those things ourselves, because we knew that even though we are practicing together, we each had our own agendas, and we each had our own missions, as you call, or the things that we wanted to create as one, and the things we wanted to create together. So they were very supportive of each other's paths. So they knew that that separation could never occur. So whenever one needed some time to integrate something, they could just leave and spend like weeks away in the woods, and there would be no sour feeling between them because they knew that it was just part of their own roles for each other, But he's saying that since he was born, he felt connected to her. He always knew that she was there and she wasn't even born in a body yet. So she was, as he was a kid and she wasn't born, she wasn't in a body yet, as the Mary Magdalene that we know as being her, she was a spirit guide for him. And he always felt connected to her. So he said that even if he wanted to disconnect, that was just gonna be impossible for him because they are like one soul in two bodies. So that was impossible, he's saying, and he never felt the need for that. But sometimes they did need time alone and time for themselves to integrate the things that happen. And Mary Magdalene saying that he put that very well, and that with her role as being a mother, as being like a divine mother in a body, she needed more time than he did, to just deal with her emotions, because as she was the vessel of the alchemy, she would hold it all on in her body, in her womb, So whenever she practiced that sacred alchemy, her womb would be the vessel of the blessing. So she needed time every single time. She needed some space to integrate all of that, in her body, and then to activate others with that as well, and activate Yeshua. So, but yeah, and she's saying that he was always very graceful with that, and he would always know exactly what to do and how to do it, and he would know that when she was ready to receive him again. And we talked about this, Una, the last time that we met, that when she had a miscarriage, she needed some time alone. And we explored a little bit of that. And then I had a vision that when she was ready, she came back, So that time she was in France and she spent weeks in the Groot alone. And then she went back. And exactly the same place that he left her. It's like, okay, you go and you stay and you do your thing. He was waiting for her, and they didn't have any cell phone. They didn't have anything. He just knew that she would be there. So I have the vision of her, like just running and jumping in his arms, and he was embracing her because she was finally, ready to come back to the collective, and not stay alone anymore. So yeah, they are just ghosts.
Yeah, that story makes me a little emotional.
Yeah. I know, he makes my heart pound, it's like just tend a little further, because
it's water a little bit. I'm like, no, makeup. Does it mean that now our bodies are strong enough to do it by ourselves without a partner?
Yes, he's saying exactly, because we've been anchoring that energy for long enough now.
Yeah. I did this work in this life before, and now again with a new partner, reflective on my vibration.
Wow.
Yes,
that's awesome.
That's super powerful.
Yes.
Oops, it scrolls down super fast. Can you explain how to do these techniques without a partner, and also if we have a partner but they are unaware of these techniques or open to these things?
Mary Magdalene is going to explain a little bit more and how to do the practice and what to do, and she will advise you on doing it alone first.
Yes.
Because then you have less distractions, you have less energy working with you, so then you don't feel as overwhelmed. So she will talk more about that, and if your question remains, please ask it again.
Did Yeshua practice sacred sexuality with other women?
Yes.
Did Mary Magdalene ever have times where she was like, not tonight, Yeshua, I'm not in the mood? And how did you both work through that?
I love that question. No one ever asked that. So I have no idea. Let me see. Well, Miriam is laughing. And she's saying that, yes, of course, we were just as human as you are. But they were very attracted to each other, they say. So, and he's saying that he would know, but one might try.
You never know.
Yeah.
Hi, Flav, and Annie was having tech issues logging into today's chat, but it's all good now. Hi,
Oh,
Annie.
awesome.
Good, it all worked out.
Yes.
Get you a partner like Yeshua.
Exactly.
Or like Mary Magdalene.
Yeah. That's the goal.
Yeah. Will our tears be able to rewatch this after this is over?
Yes.
You know.
I saw the smile too, and I'm like, oh gosh.
Well,
all done with the questions for Yeshua at this time? You can ask him after. It's okay too.
yeah.
Shall I continue? And I love the way that their interactions, because Yeshua is so romantic, and he says all the things about the partner and everything, and it's like he's telling a story, and then Mary Magdalene comes like, okay, come back to earth, let's do this. And then she just comes with very practical things and talking, exactly to the point of things, which is so so cool to me.
I am true to my sacred partner in this life, as this has been given that is needed to have pureness in the connection. Sometimes women come across my path too.
Yeah. He's saying that the question about him having other partners, it's not in every timeline. We talk about this every time. And every time I do like the disclaimer, in some timelines, yes, but they practiced before getting married, both of them, So, and they did not say, they did not see sex as we do now. It's like the way that, not sex in general, but sacred sexuality. It was like a school for reals, and for us, sometimes it's so weird to think about this, like, oh, you go to school to practice sex acts with people, but it was so natural, and it kind of should be, I feel like, but still we have so much to, so much baggage, all of us. But after he got married to Mary Magdalene, I cannot see one timeline in which they were not only with each other, even though they might have felt attracted to other beings. They never, because the kind of relationship that they had is like they couldn't see or anyone else. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yes.
Anyways, but yeah, beforehand, both of them practiced with men and women. Yeshua is like, now you just open a whole can of worms. You are talking, you are saying it. Gosh.
Within the understanding of oneness, even if they were not in the bodies called Yeshua and Miriam practicing sacred sexuality, weren't they
They're fractals always together?
Yet.
Yep. They always are, they're saying. Within you too.
Yes. Was there a particular amount of frequency that worked best for them? Daily, a few times a week, or it was just spontaneous?
He's saying that depended on what the purpose was the intention, what the intention was. Because let's say that right before his demonstration on the cross, it needed to be more frequent, because the way that they were energizing his ka body, his light body, to remain him in a state of pause when he was on the cross, so he could remain alive. And that's why they needed to power it up. It's like he's saying that it's like a battery that you charge, so they wanted to overcharge the battery just to be safe. Or when they were trying to conceive a child, and it depended. And when they had okay, the thing that happened with some of them, and they are talking about Sarit, she came to them in the astral, and they knew that she was going to be born in an exact period of time, like from that to that time. So they knew that they had to have sex for her to be born, because of the exact plan and everything. So she knew that, or both of them knew that Sarah was ready to come. So then they would, practice more. And also because it wasn't just the sex that brought Sarah, it was the whole alchemy, for her to be as awake as she was since she was born and all of that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
there's that too. And he's saying, well, but after we decided not having children anymore, it would be sporadic.
Let me just scroll. Yes, I have experienced that in this life. Yes. Of this class. Enjoying each other's energy is in different human suits. Yeah.
They say that we've been doing this
Mhm.
for millennia.
In Nana's book, he describes that Yeshua had 3 wives and also a child with his first lover.
Yeah, there's a timeline for that. I see that one too. And I also see that first wife died and Mary Magdalene took over, the role as the mother for that child.
Wish I had learned about this 30 years ago.
Yeshua is saying it's never too late to apply this.
Yes.
All good? So I'm going to continue with what Mary Magdalene said. And if you have questions, just keep posting them and I'll go through them later. So she says, it is first important to mention that your relationship with sex and sexuality matters in this alchemy. I feel a burp coming, sorry. I don't want to be reading a question and then burp because that's not okay. But it was gone. As long as you practice, as long as you practice, no, that's not the word. As long as you perceive sex as something other than pure, innocent, and divine, the attempt should be to build a more loving relationship with yourself in that matter. Learning to explore your own body and loving this connection is essential for the practice of the alchemy of Isis. That is why self-love is such an important subject and we are always mentioning it. Loving yourself radically allows you to explore the deepest and most beautiful extremes of your power on earth. We have many processes, just like a priestess says, we have many processes to help you with self-love. I transmitted a course for this one, as you call a mentoring in other classes. We can always talk more about that if it is something that you wish. So she's just mentioning that she gave me a mentoring for self-love. So if that's something that you're interested, I told her, don't talk about it, but she...
I love that she calls you this one.
Yeah, this one with capital O though.
Yeah.
And she's also saying that if we want to have another class about self-love, we can do this. Love yourself with capital S and love your body. It is your vessel for this alchemy. The second most important thing is the awareness of your breath. The breath is the connection point, and most practices in inner alchemy start with it. And the third most important thing, and the one we want to focus on today, is the technology of surrender. By surrender, we mean the all-encompassing feeling of trust in your power. The knowingness that God within you is never at rest and always at peace. It moves and creates everything in your reality. It's such a powerful quote, though. The knowingness that God within you is never at rest and always at peace. It moves and creates everything in your reality. So think about a moment of surrender to ecstasy. When you reach the highest point of passion and surrender to the God mind, you're often in a blank state of mind and 100% living in the present moment. That is the moment where you create with sex magic. Isis and Horus initiates, as we call them, learn to wield this. Isis and Horus initiates, as we call them, learn to wield sexual energy and then to hold and stretch the point of ecstasy, creating a magnetic field that enables creation in all forms, physical and metaphysical. So she's saying that right at that point where you are about to orgasm, they learn to stretch that and to create using that energy. That's what they are teaching you how to do today. To stretch the magnetic field, created by the Sekhem. The Sekhem is the Kundalini, the sexual energy. One must be hyper aware of the direction of their breath and the sensations on their bodies, for they are a compass for this alchemy to take place. So, what we will teach you today is a simple yet powerful practice to use in the instant right before the orgasm. Keep in mind you are learning to direct, enhance, and use the sexual energy, also called Kundalini or Sekhem. It is a force on its own, and it takes practice to master it. Take your time, have love and compassion for yourself. Every master started once as a student, and every student is a master. Your body will often call for release when the energy is intensified. It is only normal. Please do not use this practice as a mean to self punish. That's very important. Very important. That's why we talked about the mastering the mind, mastering the emotions. So then you don't use this technique or any of those techniques in sacred sexuality alchemy to punish yourself in any way. So you are creating a better relationship with yourself, with your body, with this, and not the other way around. So keep that in mind. Another thing I will mention is that practicing alone is best at first, for there are less distractions and less energy to hold in your physical body. Learning to love and please yourself is crucial in sacred sexuality. Explore without shame or guilt, for your bodies are divine and innocent in its very core. So for the technique, now that's when she's gonna give the technique. Do you have any questions so far?
Is it not so that surrendering to it is enough?
She says that yes, if you don't want to manipulate the energy or use it at all, yes, it is enough. Can they expand more on the alchemy around Sarah being awakened as she was? In a bit, they say. So they will give you the technique now. I'm gonna drink some water though. So she did like pointers. Take some time for yourself, pamper your body, show it love. So that's the first thing. Light some candles, take a bubble bath, take that time for yourself. It's like when we thought about using yoni eggs, just take some time for yourself to enhance that connection that you have with you. Frequencies and sounds are a great tool to work with. Choose some that make you vibrate on the frequency of that which you wish to create with this alchemy. So today they wanted us to focus more on energizing your body and healing your body. So if you want to heal something in specific in your body, you can look up some frequency related to that. If you want to focus in a chakra, then do that too, So choose like sounds and frequencies that are related to the theme of the intention, we'll say. The tactile experience is as powerful as your breath in this practice. Your nervous system is connected to the releasing of hormones that create a magnetic field. Once the sensations on the body increase, pay attention to where the energy focus is. It might be on your belly, the bottom of your spine, the bottom of your feet, your crown. There is no recipe to this, so trust. So when your, let's say, arousal is increasing, focus and let your body show you where the strongest point of energy is. Where is that energy for you? It might be very simple, and it might be in your root chakra, for example, or it might be on your hands, it might be on your chest, so where is that energy for you? Because it's going to be different for everybody. So not everyone is going to feel the energy in your genitals, for example. You're going to feel that energy, that Sekhem, perhaps somewhere else in your body. So it's very important to feel free to explore it however it shows up for you, so be aware of that. So that's like number one thing with the practice, is allowing yourself to see where that energy lies in you and where it's strongest. Hope it makes sense. If I'm not making sense, let me know. Yeah, so she's talking about trusting. So that's another thing that is very important. When you identify the strongest energetic point of Sekhem, you start spreading it and using your breath. You start spreading it using your breath. Send the energy to your whole body or to a specific place in your body, if you will. So, so you feel, let's say that energy is in your heart, that orgasmic energy. You start moving it. You can move it. I think that it's easier when you start to move it everywhere and to move it to all the cells in your body, and to just start stretching it away. It's like it's just in a little ball and then you start stretching it away. Because the thing that happens is your body is going to be like, oh, let me go, and it's normal and it's fine and you just let it go. You might have to repeat this practice many, many times and it's fine. It's great. So it's like, imagine as a ball of light, if you want, and it's stretching a little bit and it's touching everything. So if you have a strong connection with visualizing your organs, for example, you can imagine that light bathing your organs, or something more ethereal, even just a light and, just infusing your cells and everything. So just start stretching that energy and you start feeling that energy move and become bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's when it's the hardest for you to not release, and to not give into the orgasm and just be done with it. Because just by working with your breath and allowing your breath to be present as you are practicing it, as you are pleasing yourself, for example, it's going to increase anyways. And you start feeling it way, way, way more powerfully. So give yourself time. She's saying that it's important to give yourself time and to, continue that practice. Not only like, oh, I'm going to do it once and I couldn't do it. And I said, oh, okay, whatever. No, just give yourself time. Oh my God, my leg. Sorry. Oh God. You may also want to use simple and direct affirmations to aid in your process. So when you are doing this for a specific reason, so let's say that you want to heal something or you want to just be healed, and you can choose simple, easy affirmations. Don't go crazy and go like, oh, I want this or that, and keep in mind that God doesn't discern between yes or no, because God is neutral. So if you say, oh, I don't want to feel like this anymore, God does not understand no. The universe does not understand no, So if you want to feel healthier, I am healthy. Start your affirmation with I am and choose something loving to come after it. So that's the best way for you to phrase your affirmations, is using I am and then something simple. So I am abundant. I am love. I am healthy. You understand? So, and also don't make it complicated because you won't be able to remember it. So that's the thing. So she's saying that every time that you breathe, and again, go back to that class if you want, the mastering the breath and everything that they talked about the breath, and use those techniques if you want, because every time you breathe in, you can say that, or you can direct the energy or expand the energy. Let yourself be guided by you, she's saying. And then when you release the air, you say the affirmation, so then you send the affirmation, because even though you might not be 100% aware of it, you are sending the affirmation to your ka body, to your light body, and it's getting encrusted there. And it's like a diamond there. So it's always going to be there. It's very, very powerful, very, very sacred information we're giving you today, guys. So just know that. Once your body releases the energy, sit with it for a while and keep the loving space of surrender for as long as you want. So once you release the energy, once you give in to the orgasm, don't just go by your day and say, oh, okay, that was fun. Just sit with that for a while, because again, it's a very sacred ceremony that you just had. Remember, all is perfect as it is. As a matter of the body, this takes practice. You wouldn't be here if you weren't already a master. We are simply reminding you of an ancient sacred practice that can speed up your manifestations. We are always here with you, for we are you. We love you. So that's it for what I had pre-channeled. So I'm gonna go back and see your questions.
Yes. So how do we move past shame before starting these techniques?
She's saying that it's mastering the emotions. So that's the thing you should look at first. So where is the shame leading you to, is what she's saying. And where did it start, for example? Where is the point of connection and the point of disconnection that the shame generated for you? So, and she's saying it's a call for more love, more self-love.
Do they recommend a certain hertz frequency?
They say that no, you can let yourself be guided to something. It's going to be very personal to what you're practicing.
How do we recognize that we are using it to punish ourselves?
If it feels unloving in any way, Marian says, to you, in any point during the practice, if it doesn't feel loving, then you're punishing your body somehow. So let's say that your body really wants release and you're not giving it because, oh, no, I can't because I didn't do it right, and then your body is understanding it as if, oh, you're punishing me, So that's why creating a relationship with your body is so important.
Can you set an intention before you start so you're just in the moment?
Yes. You can do that. She's saying that if you want to light a candle with one intention, for example, or choose a crystal or anything that represents that for you so you know that it's there, she's saying that it helps your mind comprehend, because she's saying we're not only working here with one thing or the other, we are working it with everything in conjunction. Your body, your ego, your mind, your God self, everything is one.
Do they have any modern day music to recommend?
Oh gosh.
I don't feel like listening to solfeggio tones sometimes. I get ya. Me neither. Especially in those practices. It's just not
Yeshua
involving.
is singing. The first thing first Mary Magdalene answered you, more seriously.
Yeah.
And she talked about shamanic drums, that it's very enticing,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yes.
looking for something about related to okay,
That sounds
related
awesome.
to sacred sexuality, or activating kundalini, or root and sacral chakra kind of things. So, but yeah, she is saying that shamanic drums can be very, moving.
Music with strong beat,
Yeah.
very marked.
And then Yeshua
beats.
was singing "Drunk in Love."
Oh,
we
Beyonce
be all night.
is great for that.
Stop singing.
I was thinking the same thing. I used the Gordon Brothers 3-hour World Drum album to
Oh
practice.
yeah, so yeah,
Mhm.
drums, as I said.
Yeah. Body funk dance music.
No, Yeshua. Oh
Please
no.
don't.
Have
Stop
been
scrolling YouTube.
doing this practice since a very young age.
Yeah.
Because you are an alchemist, Corey.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate the rhythm to help focus. Yes. Was Yeshua also faithful to Mary Magdalene on the astral plane?
He's saying that he was always loyal to his role to her, yes. And he also understands that she is in everybody. She is not only in that body, or my body, or Flavia's body, or, she is in there. There's a piece of her in all of us. And then she's saying, so how could I be unfaithful to her? So he's saying that, yes, my answer to that is yes. He loves the question, by the way.
Yes. Will this step-by-step be in the PDF?
Yes.
Yes. Waves Yoni wand in the air.
Woo! Yoni ones are very
Yes.
powerful to work with that. You
Mm-hmm.
you get a high that you have no idea.
Drumming is right where I went. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeshua showed me a vision in meditation with us during Sacred Sexuality on the beach, then running playfully down the beach. Then he handed me a baby. Unconditional love and passion are so powerful.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such a beautiful image.
I'd love to hear more about this alchemy and what child this is.
He's saying that you're tapping into a pool of consciousness. That's how he's calling it. So it's a portion of yourself that is ready to be awakened, he's saying. And it's very, very powerful, very sacred. So let yourself be guided in those instances. He's saying, trust the guidance that is coming to you and the feelings that are coming to you. And let that show you. And he's saying that it wouldn't be empowering at all if we just gave you that information. So they don't give it to me to give to you, so I'm not tempted. They're saying that it's deep within your soul and you are being handled access to that. So whatever it is that you can see and perceive and understand with that, it's perfect exactly as it is.
My womb just began hurting.
It happens a lot, he's saying. For all of us that have anything to release regarding that, so it's very normal in a way, he's saying. So breathe through it. So when you breathe, send your breath there and imagine that energy dissipating, because it's just like too much energy stuck there right now. That's why it hurts. Happens to me all the time. I'm still working through that too.
What if you no longer have a uterus?
He's saying that it's fine because you still have like an ethereal womb. It's still there. The physicality is not as important. There is literally a Beyonce song for everything. Yes. She is a queen.
She is. I appreciate they won't let me be lazy within my alchemy because I do have my days when I want to be.
Right? Same. But they do bug off when I tell them, it's like, no, guys, I don't want to play today. Just let me be.
I know exactly what I need to feel, see, and hear. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He says that you have all the answers. Let's go back to that Sarah question, please.
Yes.
As you guys are coming up with more questions. Can they expand more on the alchemy around Sarah being as awakened as she was? Yeshua is explaining that Sarah was the embodiment of Sophia in a very pure way, and that means that she was like the top of the Trinity, and that she had some codes in her cellular nature that would awake others. So let's say that he's explaining it as all the work that he was doing and Mary Magdalene was doing, and everyone else that was awake and talking about oneness, they've been waiting for something or someone to help them release those codes to others so the collective could get more of those codes. And she was like a pioneer of that age for that kind of activation, in their bodies. So she was born because the kind of alchemy that they practice with her, with bringing her in a body, it was designed in a way so her DNA the streams of her DNA wouldn't be as dull, let's say, as shut down as people on Earth. It's the same thing with Horus, for example. He was born from that kind of alchemy because he was one of the pioneers that brought all the energy. So his DNA would be spread. It's similar to alien DNA in a way, so upgrades. So she was born with thousands of codes to give to other beings. And she would only be able to encompass that in her body because of the alchemy that they were practicing, because of their awareness in conjunction and the way that they knew what her role would be. So they would always support her in that. So they would raise her as she was raised and everything about that. So it was a very specific engineering for her to be born, more so than with Yeshua, for example. Even though he was already born extremely alien, she was even more alien. So she even kind of looked a little different. She looked as white as I am now, and they were not as white as I am now. They were like Middle Eastern kind of brownish skin. Mary Magdalene was more than Yeshua, very olive kind of skin. He was more like burnt from the sun because he would walk all the time, right? But she was born with almost red hair and white skin and golden eyes. So she was alien in her body, So all of those upgrades and things that matched with her DNA, and then the way that she was able to spread that DNA in her lineage, and also with activating other beings, as she was with them. So it's not like she needed to meet people or anything. Just by the sheer fact that she was born, she activated a whole collective. So then we could be doing this today now. And now there are so many of us that were born like Sarah, even though not from the same alchemy, because as they were talking about, we don't need that so much fuss about this anymore, because the energy is more anchored on Earth right now. So many of us, we were born with those codes within our bodies now in this age, so we could give those codes to other beings. So probably this triggers some of you to be like, oh, so that's what's been happening with me. If you had a hard time, let's say, staying in a body when you were a kid, they say that that's a very clear yes for you being more alien than human. If you had a hard time staying in a body when you were a kid, if you had any kind of allergic reactions to simple things like water, your mother's milk, like it was for me, or any kind of thing, so she was very, very, very powerful. What are you doing?
I'm trying to look for a question.
What question?
Julie's question, but I'm not finding it. She says that I skipped it twice, but I don't see it. I think she's gonna type it for me, and then I'm gonna
that's
read
great.
it. Yes. Okay,
Let me
the
see.
Next question.
Let me go back. Let me just see. I have missed the answer of my question.
Important learning of today. Yeshua is a part of the
beehive. Yep. He's saying, oh, yes. And he's doing the dance.
I just started reading the Sophia Code a few days ago, and it was recommended to me by someone named Sarah.
Wow.
That's cool.
See that?
Today's Green Terra.
Okay.
Were Mary Magdalene and Yeshua challenged as parents to Sarah?
Yeshua says, well, of course, like every parent is. And he's saying, again, we were as human as you are. And there are some moments where you just want to hold your child and sit down and cry because you don't know what you do, with them. But Yeshua himself, he had such a strong connection with Sarah that they could talk like in each other's minds. Not like talk like, oh, I'm going to talk in your mind, but they just knew, each other like that. So even when she was a baby, he knew exactly what she needed. If she was hungry and, all those things. He's saying, so that was a good compass because of the nature of their souls and their path and the way that they choose to play roles for each other and everything. So she was like extremely attuned to him and he to her. He's saying that helped a lot, but he's saying that raising her wasn't challenging, but sending her to the world was, because we knew that in some level people were ready for her and in some level they were not. And you can grasp that just by the sheer fact that you have absolutely no record of her right now. Because she was so out there, the energy was not anchored enough for them to understand her. So he's saying, if they misunderstood me, can you imagine her? So he's saying that as a parent, that wasn't easy for him or Miriam.
Here's the question. Is there a specific reason that women in general have a more difficult time reaching orgasm? And did Mary Magdalene ever have a difficult time achieving it even after learning the sacred sexuality techniques?
She says that, well, the reason is the role of shame put on you as a woman by society and by yourself. So that's why that happens. She's saying it's not so much a biological thing, it's more of a psychological thing, that women have a harder time reaching orgasm, because in truth, biologically, you are able to hold an orgasm way longer than a male body can. And that enables you to be the vessel of the alchemy and to be the magnetic, to create the magnetic field using your body. So the male is energetic, right?
Yes.
Electric, that's the word. Male is electric and the female is magnetic, and then you create an electromagnetic field around you when you're practicing that sexuality. But the way that the magnetic energy just look at me like, what's wrong with you, plays a role in that is extremely important. So in a biological kind of way, that's the thing. And when women have a harder time reaching an orgasm, is that because they don't feel valued in the relationship or within themselves. So she's saying that that is a wildly spread pandemic. Yes. It's that idea.
And it goes back also to that question of how to identify when we are what is punishing ourselves. That was the word. And usually we see it a lot when we are talking with friends, and if you ever mention that you never had an orgasm, for an example, it creates such an expectation and a shock. And then every time that you are having sex, you have this in mind, like, oh my God, if I'm not having an orgasm, I'm not doing it right. And then you won't do it right because you're trying to accommodate an expectation that does not exist, that is not possible, because everyone is different, and the way that your body reacts and acts in general is particular to you. So it's that's why she says, like, start learning it with yourself, because then you know what's body,
happening,
where you feel it. And you hear it a lot, like, oh, you need to relax, but sometimes it's just not relaxing. Your body wants to contract. You are relaxed, you're calm, you're breathing, but that's not what your body is doing,
and what your body wants to,
for you to have the orgasm. So sometimes you need to contract to achieve the orgasm, or to the multiple orgasms also. And you keep telling yourself that you need to relax, so you never achieve the peak.
That voice in your mind is what Miriam's saying. That's the thing that keeps you from reaching that state.
Yeah.
So, and the expectation, as Flavia said. So, as she said, it's more of a psychological thing than a physiological thing.
You don't start the practice aiming to the orgasm. Your focus has to be another thing. Your point, like your goal, Oh my God, my belly just made a super loud sound.
Your belly was like, yes. Go back, because there's a question. Oh, there are lots of questions.
Yes, I don't know where it stopped because it was.
No, go down. No.
Down.
Yeah. Shut up. My God.
Sorry.
Can we be adults about this?
Where was the
Do they
last
have
one?
anything more to say about
Oh.
pregnancy in general? Well, the thing that is coming regarding your question right now, and they are saying that we, as a collective, as Magdalenas right now, we've been having symptoms of pregnancy because of the shift. That's what people are calling it. So they are just calling it like that. This energetic shift that is happening on Earth right now, that many, many of us have been feeling symptoms of pregnancy. And it might come in all kinds of way. Even if you're still having a period and everything, you're not pregnant, but your body is trying to cope with this energy. So that's why so many are dreaming about it. That's why so many are relating and seeing things about it all the time. And they say that sometimes it generates some fear also because of that, because they go like, oh my God, I can be pregnant. And even in the weirdest ways, like, I had not had sex, how can I be feeling like this? So, and oh my God, I don't want to be pregnant with Jesus. So they say that all of those things might happen in our minds, and it's related to this shift of energy and the ways that we are playing role for Gaia right now, because we are all giving birth to something. And if your body is extremely tuned to Gaia, and in this moment you will feel it in your body, and it's fine, it's okay. So the most important thing to keep in mind is to love that no matter what it becomes. And they remind me that message came from Suna too, when she was giving me a body massage and some awesome things that she does,
Yeah.
with directing energy and reading the energy in your body. That whatever that is for you, whatever that becomes, whatever is born, you love it, because that's what we are here for as divine mothers in body right now. So yeah, regarding that, they say that they wanted to share this, that it's very common and very normal, and your hormones even may go crazy, and some of us may be feeling it for a period of timeline, a period of time now, not only in this last few months, but years even, because we are all part of this transmutation and this alchemy that is happening worldwide right now. So keep that in mind. I don't know how that relates to you, but they just wanted to say that.
I'm wondering, is anyone here biologically or genetically related to the Fabiash and Maggie family?
They say yes, and that's all for now.
So why is it so that in a sacred marriage it is important to be faithful and not astral, after giving that answer you have given before, that Mary is in everybody?
So why is it that in a sacred marriage it is important to be faithful and not astral? Like, have astral sex? I don't think I understand the question. Do you? What are you doing?
I'm just letting Julie know. You can. YouTube is holding her questions for some reason. It's not showing up for us.
What?
So yeah,
That's so weird.
Keep sending them to the chat, and I'll keep it open so I can read yours.
I don't think I understand.
I think
Do you
if
understand?
it's what I understood, the faithful part is a social agreement or perception that we have, that when you get married, you can only be with that person. But it is much more a conversation that you have with your partner. If that's what that's what I understood. If you want to be open or not. It's not that you have just to have sex or sacred sexuality with that one person after you get married. It's a decision between you and the person you're with.
Well, sorry, everything you said just it happens sometimes. Yeshua is talking. He's saying that I did not say that it's okay to have sex with anyone and everyone only because they are all fractals of God and divinity. He's saying that's very important that we mention. And the thing is that in the astral, as you were asking, as him being not in a body in this, well, he's always in a body, we know that, and the timelines are not happening as a line, they are happening simultaneously. But let's say that if we meet Yeshua in a dream and we end up having sex with him, is he betraying Mary Magdalene? His answer to that was no, because if he shows up to you in a dream as Yeshua and he wants to have sacred sex with you, it's because you are an embodiment of Mary Magdalene somehow. And somehow that activation that you are both doing there together is extremely relevant for you right now. Otherwise, you would not be dreaming about that, or, astral traveling or dreaming, whatever that is. And also, when you are, let's say, a fractal of Yeshua, and you can see yourself outside of your body and meeting other women and having sex with them, he's saying that it's a matter of what Flavia was saying. Is that a betrayal for you as a human, or are you okay with that because you are not only that body as you identify with yourself now, So maybe you tapped into his consciousness and then you traveled as Yeshua and met another Mary Magdalene. Does it make sense? Did we answer your question?
I think it's about energy exchange astrally. Yeah, I think you answered the question. Not me.
Go up. Let me see if there's anything.
Yes. I met my hybrid babies during a quantum healing session. I love connecting energetically with them but long to be with them in form. Oh. Their frequency is so fast. Will they be able to come to the new earth?
Well, the first thing that they answer is yes, and then they go, if you believe so, then yes, because that's part of your own creation,
Mm-hmm. What happens when we are performing the alchemy with one partner and then all of a sudden start picturing having sex with someone else?
Well, first thing that Yeshua said is, what does it do for you? Does it generate guilt for you? And then he goes, your minds play so many games with you when you are doing this. And again, it goes with that what we said, the mastering the breath, mastering the mind, and mastering your emotions before you fully dive into those practices. And that's why they did it in an order, so we could, integrate one thing at a time. Because the only thing that matters there is how you perceive yourself in that situation. That's what he's saying.
Love your eye makeup. Thank you.
That's awesome.
That's the intention, right?
It's like glitter.
Yeah. Shine.
And her nails match it too.
It matches.
And I was like, who possessed you?
Probably
Yeshua.
Does the intention you have when working with your Sekhem determine if you have a child or not?
Okay, does the intention you have when working with your Sekhem determine if you have a child or not? I'm gonna have to read it. Don't know what's happening. They say that the easy answer is yes, but there's more to that than only that. There are agreements and things that you might not be aware with your human perception. We cannot see your questions, Alana. If you want to send
I think
on
that
YouTube
is holding the questions that have the terms written like sex, orgasm, or anything like that. I think it is holding, which...
Try that.
Yeah, maybe...
Did you... Well, I don't know if...
Maybe send it to me on Facebook Messenger, and then I read it.
Yeah.
I have it open here.
Sorry about that. That's
Sorry.
weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
That might be it.
Yeah. Is our highest form of being Poluamo?
Poluamo?
Polyamor?
Is that what you're saying?
Oh, so I should have deleted it.
If
maybe that was it.
Polyamory or something like that, right? Go down, because maybe they're answering. Okay. Polyamory, she meant. Well, the first answer that I got was no. And then Mary Magdalene comes, well, is it for you? If it is for you, then yes. But you need to understand everything that encompasses with that. You need to be 100% comfortable with yourself and with your partners. And you need to love yourself to the extent where none of it could bother you in a way, you know. If it triggers you in any way, then it's not loving for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that as a collective that polyamory is something that is like our highest way of being. I don't, that's the feeling that they give me, but anyways.
Here's the last question.
Okay.
When do you start the intentional breathing, right before the orgasm? Or are we doing this the whole time?
The whole time. As soon as you start breathing.
Mhm.
And you will probably realize that's the case for most people, they say, that the feeling will be so increased that you will want to reach orgasm way sooner, just because you are aware of your breath. And that's really the first thing to do, you know. Even with this practice that they gave us, the first thing is just becoming aware of your breath and seeing where the energy lies for you in your body.
Also, anything to say about bringing the energy of our twin flame when doing this solo?
Yes, that's very powerful too, they say. Miriam says that they will be there anyway.
Mhm.
Even if you are not aware of them, they are there holding space for you and doing it with you. So when you feel like bringing them into your awareness, then do that, because that's very powerful.
This day I felt emotional, and looking at this class, I felt it even more. Does this practice pull up old emotions?
Miriam does not refer to them as old emotions because they are not old if they are still relevant. So yes, it brings up relevant emotions. They are still doing something for you, even if just learning you between discerning if it serves or not. So yes, they say that this activates all of those pillars, as they are calling it: your mind, your emotions, your body, your breath. It activates all of those things so you can master all of it.
And is it for that reason we should first clean our emotional body with breathing techniques?
Yes. So then when you are creating with the alchemy, you are not bringing emotions that you don't want. So you are not intensifying those emotions, because what this alchemy does, it enhances everything that is in your body. So that's why having like a clear intention, a clear affirmation can really help.
The answer can be more specific because of physically, there can be energy connected to negative karma and also astral when it's guided by God or spirit, and it's formed for heart and it's from the heart. All is well indeed.
My God, I can't understand a word you've been saying for the past like 20 minutes. It's like you're saying words and it's not the language
feel
that
the
I
same,
speak.
yeah.
It's like, what is
What?
happening with you? Or me? Or the both of us? The answer can be more specific because of physicality. There
Physically.
can.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm trying to understand. Or physically, there can be energy connected to negative karma and also astral
Mhm.
when it's guided by God or spirit and it's from the heart. All is well indeed. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, now I understood.
This one. Yeah, that's exactly what is happening. YouTube is holding because the other question she sent the question separately, and the one with the
Okay.
orgasm wasn't shown.
That's why, guys.
Yeah, so if you put, I don't know, just write half the word.
I kept changing the O word to organic. That's good.
Thanks for this class. I told Mary Magdalene to help me how to use sex energy 3 days ago, and so as not to be. Oh, that is
Oh, that's
awesome.
great. Let me see. There was something before that. What
Oh,
about when
I
we
didn't
have
see.
orgasm asleep? I felt connected with sexual energy, although I did not know how to use it. It's fine. It's just they say that when you are sleeping, you are very aware.
Mhm.
So it's perfect.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it, they say.
Two.
Mhm.
Mm. Did I read this? Yes. Thank you for the answer. I figured it was a question that needs more context. And yes, YouTube likes to censor things
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah. Is it more useful to have one long release or 3 or 4 smaller releases?
Miriam loves your question. She's saying that as you are learning to master it, having smaller ones is more useful for you right now, because then you will remain in that energy for longer. But once you've mastered it, so you can remain in that energy for a long time without releasing it and then releasing it, that's when shit really goes down, you know? That's when you create like light language on the walls and all that. But as we are starting our practice, smaller one, so you can stretch that energy. And she's saying that don't compare yourselves with her or Yeshua, because they were born into this. They started learning about this when they were 6 years old, 6 or 5 years old. And as soon as she got her first period, she was sent to Egypt to work with masters there, you know? So, and Yeshua, the same thing. So don't compare yourselves like, oh my God, I'm not doing it right, or how long is it gonna take, you know? Just chill, because they were born into this.
Tell me if you can see this post. We can see your post.
Yeah.
There can only be one. Hmm.
We
Hi,
can't use the
Jenny.
O word.
Yeah. I started doing this intuitively last week. How fun. That is
Wow.
awesome.
That's great. Ooh.
It scrolls down. Ooh. Do they have anything to say around incorporating sacred dancing into
Ooh.
sacred sexuality practice?
Love it. They say that that's a beautiful, magnificent way to move that energy, because it brings so many things into connection. It's like you connect so many dots, because you feel more confident in your body. You learn to love your body. You learn to move your body. You create a better relationship with your body when you're dancing. So
Yes.
that's why everyone should do it. And they go like this for us, Flavia.
Yeah, I know. I just felt like sending that video to everyone. The one that
Oh
of the couple
yeah, let's
dancing.
post that.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You're gonna see. Oh,
Oh,
it's so
so good.
beautiful. It's like you're watching it like
Yeah, I'm gonna post it in our
Facebook
group.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a couple dancing. It's very pretty.
Oh, they're dancing.
Anubis
Zouk.
has been teaching me this. That's so cool.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, Horus shows up for me sometimes too.
Yeah, me too.
And Shiva most of the time. Which
Nice.
always just puts me in a coma state afterwards. Literally, it's like, what's happening? Did I fall asleep? What happened? You know, it's crazy.
Accurate. As for the breath, are we just imagining the breath circulate our body from bottom chakra around to our top? And with a partner, we imagine our breath circulate their body or our own bodies too.
Yeah, focus on your body 1st, they say. And yes, that works. So moving that energy, you know, through everything, and not only like in your spine, but through all your members too. You know, send the energy to your feet. They say, have you ever had like an orgasmic feet reaction? That's awesome. So start playing with it. And that's the other thing that I wanted to mention. It's playful, it's beautiful, it's innocent, it's pure, you know, so have fun with it, you know, like today I want to see how is it feeling an orgasmic reaction in my little finger, you know, and just start, you know, playing with those things, and allowing yourself to to feel free in that practice, I'm Dutch. Well, we are Brazilian, so that's why we have a hard time. We have a time with everyone, not only you, William, but everyone.
We are using another language. Oh, that's awesome.
That's great.
I thought you would think it was about you, but she was talking to Flavia. She couldn't understand Flavia. Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe
You
that's what
couldn't
happens. It's
understand
like Flavia. Sometimes when she reads, it's like she's speaking another language that I don't speak. And it's like, and I'm like, what's happening?
But sometimes after orgasm, I started grieving someone I was intimate with. Is it because I'm somehow beating myself up while playing with myself?
She says that it can be, and it can also be something beautiful. It can also be you releasing anything that isn't serving you regarding that relationship anymore, So she's saying, what if you just change that perspective? Don't think about it like that. Give it another meaning. Give it a loving meaning. And thank that partner too, because if that partner is showing up for you, there's some part of their energy that is still kind of there, and not in a bad way, so send that love and forgiveness if needed. You too, not only that being, but you too. And she's saying, see how that feels, because it doesn't have to hold a negative connotation.
It's just a memory from the body also, because you reach at that place with that partner. So whenever you're coming close to it, your body brings this memory. So
trigger from the body.
And grab just the good part of it. Not teaching, reminding me. He had to correct me. Brandy said.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
You're a master. Any other good sources?
I love that. After organicing, because you can't say orgasming.
Any other good sources that some of you out there are using to learn more about this?
If you've ever read the Magdalene manuscript, it's very, very interesting. I feel like it's a basic kind of teaching, which is awesome. And it's also one timeline, we'll say. So grab it as it serves you. But if you have discernment as you're going through it, it's very informative. And the way that they explain, it's very, very comprehensible, for our minds. I use it sometimes, it's like, okay, I need some terminology because you're driving me crazy, guys. And then I grab the book, and sometimes I just download whatever it is. I don't even need to open it. They just give me a download. It's like, okay. So that's a very good one.
Can you post the dancing video on Patreon too, please, for those of us not on Facebook? Absolutely. No limb left behind. This is the best sacred program ever. I had a question about manifesting previously. I think it was past.
Can you ask it again, please?
Yeah.
Because we lost it. Maybe that's what happened.
I am native English. You all have wonderful English as a second language. Oh, thank you. What is the best way to teach sacred sexuality to children coming into their adolescence? Letting go of shame seems obvious. Anything else?
Miriam says, don't make it a bigger of a deal than it is. It's something that is very natural to your body, to your expression as a human being right now. So not making it like a big deal. So then they don't create weird expectations. It's very helpful, so just having a conversation as if it's normal. It's any other conversation. And she says that, I know that it's sometimes it's awkward and it's difficult because of the way that your society is going, but the more that we teach our children about this, the less it will be for them, awkward and weird to talk about it.
Also, in implementing it to the daily conversations, not making it a talk, just, if you say something without expecting them to respond to you, they would just listen and absorb it. And every time people around them talk about it, they would just, like in school, it is such a big deal between, the teens.
Yeah.
And every time parents talk about it, they go like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
So if you try to make it a conversation with them all the time, or whenever you want to teach them something, so if it's just something that is natural around the house, it's way easier for them to absorb it without putting the wall up.
Yeah, Yasha was saying that it becomes like that, like, oh my God, and this and that, because they are not having those conversations at home.
Mhm.
And then it becomes like a taboo, and it
Yeah.
becomes like that secret. And we created it as a society. So
Yes.
the best way to take that out of the equation is not making that a secret in your household, and just talking to them, like they are an adult too, also obviously with discernment, you don't need to go deeper than they are ready to
necessary.
receive, because then you're just gonna traumatize them. But as a parent, you are very good in discerning that, they say. So Evelyn, as long as Yeshua doesn't pop in my mind, or Genesis saying, how you getting on there?
Oh boy.
Don't invite him. Don't give him the
ideas.
idea. Oh my God, sorry.
I used to feel their orgasm throughout my body to my toes when I was younger, but not anymore. Is there a reason why your orgasm changed?
They are talking about your relationship with your body, and that's why. So go deeper there, is what they say. The more you have a good relationship with your body, the more you will feel what? The better you will feel,
I started taking online Samba classes, and it's amazing. So sexy, and I feel so confident. I can post a link in Facebook group.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Do that.
Yes.
That's cool.
There's a book called Sacred Sexual Union, The Alchemy of Love, Power, and Wisdom.
Yep. From that same author, I think that there are other books, if I'm remembering correctly. I can post a list later, because I was guided to buy some books. And the thing that is that, as it's so in my path to teach this, to learn this, and to pass it through, when I touch the book and I get the full download, and I'm like, this is no fun, guys. Higher self, can we just read the book?
This is so fun.
But it's not, because then you open the book and it's like, no, I'm going crazy, and it's not happening, so I'm going to open it, and I'm like, I know this. And then you open it, it's like, I know this. And it's like, oh my God, you're just cutting all the fun. And then my higher self is, well, it's because we don't have time for this. I'm like, okay, then.
Let's move. Go take this time to dance.
Yeah.
Well, every big or little O is indeed organic, so not a bad word to substitute. Agreed.
There's Sophia again, right?
Yeah. My first question was for Yeshua and Miriam to tell us about how their parents guided them to them and how they experienced from their perspectives.
What happened?
The chat scrolls.
Oh. Mother Mary with Yeshua. Oh. She was also born in that culture, I'll say, she was also initiated by the priestesses of Isis, but in a little different kind of modality than Mary Magdalene was. It's hard for me to discern, to be honest, the way that they show it to me. But the thing with Mother Mary was more connected to Gaia itself than with Sophia, we'll say. Does it make sense? Although Gaia is Sophia, but do you see? It's hard for me to discern, because everything is so connected in a way that it's hard to put in human words. So let's say that the initiations that Mother Mary went through after a certain period, because let's say that they have 7 initiations that all priestesses go through, and then they take branches. Yeshua's like, that's a good way to explain it. Thank you. So then they took different kind of branches of alchemy. But still, Mother Mary was initiated in the same kind of alchemy that Mary Magdalene was, with sacred sexuality alchemy. So she knew that already. And the way that they were raised in that, it's not that they would just tell kids about sex. It's just that they didn't have that scrutiny. They didn't have that secrecy and everything. So it never felt like something that was weird or anything at all, you know? So they had that conversation already happening in the family for a very long time. Did I answer you? Let me see. How they experience it from their perspective, about how their parents guided them. Let me know if I answered you, Suna. Was it?
Oh boy. Okay.
Out of nowhere.
It
it's like, was it awkward or weird to talk about it in Yeshua's timeline? No, they just answered it. Well, he's saying that in his timeline, yes, with the collective, it was, and women were treated like objects, and their pleasure was not valued at all, but not in his community. And that's the other thing with sacred sexuality, that honoring of the female and the honoring of that divine feminine in both beings is very strong. We'll probably talk about that in the future.
Yes. School sounds a lot more fun 2,000 years ago.
Yeshua is laughing like out loud of that. He's saying, you bet.
How are you feeling in Flavia?
Feeling great.
Yeah.
Want to pee, but I always do.
Same. Maybe we have better orgasms with ourselves than with a partner.
They say that it's likely and possible because you know your body better than anyone, you know? So that's why having that relationship is so powerful. And then creating that relationship with a partner, you know, they say that it's a path, you know, and you need to teach them. You need to be open about it and show them, you know, that openness needs to happen for them to please you as well as you can.
Yeah. Sounds like fun to me. When it comes to manifesting, do we hold our orgasm and imagine push the energy towards our pineal gland and then focus on the specific thing we want to manifest until we are ready to release the energy?
They say that for now, as we are just being initiated, like we just had our first initiation last month, let's do things a little more in a more simple way. So just hold that that affirmation in your mind in any given time during the practice. A simple affirmation, you know, and then you will feel more comfortable to move that energy and to send it places. It's not necessary to send it to the pineal gland. They say it's absolutely not necessary. But they will give you more tools in given time, they say. So for now, just work with your breath. Work with your breath during the orgasm, they say. That's very powerful and very important. And as the process is happening too, you know, just breathe. They say that we tend to hold our breath, and that's not helpful at all. Not holding your breath all the time. They will teach us about when to hold the breath and how to move the breath and everything. But they say we are still learning to walk here, so let's not run. So first thing, become aware of your breath and choose one simple affirmation, and then see how that works for you, you know? And I'll tell you that they've been teaching me this for the past year, I'll say, year and a bit. And we learn and it integrates, and then you will start seeing it being manifested in very practical ways, you know, the things that you are manifesting. So that's why they will not give you like a very complicated practice right now, so you will feel like a failure. It takes times, like they said, you are working with your body, and your body is made of patterns, so you need to change the pattern, and you need to teach the body the pattern. So as we do that, that's when we will increase our awareness, and then we can manipulate that power a little more. But very soon they will teach us how to send the blessings using that. And I'll tell you, it works. It really does. If the being that is receiving the blessing is ready to receive it, you can heal them from anything at all, same way as they did, and you can heal yourself from anything at all, because you are simply manipulating energy, and aligning frequencies. So it's extremely powerful. But again, it's a process, so just hold that one affirmation and work with your breath. Most important thing being working with your breath when you are practicing it.
We need a sacred sexuality school now.
What?
We need a sacred sexuality school now.
Well,
That's what it
that's
is.
what we're doing.
Does Yeshua have any advice for my partner to stay electric for me in order to complete the practice?
He's talking about the breath and breathing techniques, because that can help, and focusing on how that energy is moving for him also, and yeah, he's saying that the best thing that he can do right now is learn to work with his breath while the process is occurring, as you said. Let me see if there's something else. And also to spend time giving you pleasure beforehand. That can be very helpful, he says.
I feel like we could talk all night on this subject. So good. Yeah.
I knew you guys would like this class. That's why I also wanted to open it to others, because
I wonder how they view age of consent in relation to sacred sexuality, since it's put in place to protect children.
they say that they view it. They don't view it like anything. We do. It's part of our collective belief, in our collective set of laws and everything, It's like they don't have a strong opinion about anything, to be honest, but that it's very necessary to understand the limitations of the awareness of those beings, and should not, let's say, traumatize any child with anything, especially because of the kind of society that we've created for the past 4,000-5,000 years, so those laws are very important, because a child is not ready for that kind of practice, to understand what it means. And Mary Magdalene smiles and she goes like, well, even adults sometimes, they are not aware of it, and they are not using it in a loving way for themselves, so that's a tricky subject. But yeah, they say that as they learned as child, they did not start practicing it until they were fully grown in their bodies, until they were fully blossoming, you say. So, and still it was in a sacred environment, and with honor about all of it, and everything that it represented, and not only like a carnal kind of thing that you would just go through it, or using sex as a means for manipulating your emotion or someone else's emotions, and or a means to punish yourself or someone else, or a means to hide something or bypass something. They only practice it in a sacred kind of way. So that's where we want to get with this, they say. We want to reach as many of you as are ready to receive those messages, so we can start teaching something new for those generations, so we don't feel like we need to protect anyone, because no one would feel like they needed to harm anyone else and themselves. Does it make sense what they're saying? That's a triggering question.
Best one is with God, highest vibration.
Right?
They're for yourself. This is our school, though. Yes. So exciting to organically bless.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is very
How
powerful.
are we? Yeah. Are we?
Yeah.
I feel as if I could bring myself to climax without even touching
Mhm.
myself. Is this something I'm building to?
Yes, they say
I getcha.
it's possible and
Yeah.
probable that it will happen.
I meant sacred sexuality schools everywhere for everyone. A
Yeah,
change in our society. Yeah.
that's what they just said. I haven't even read that.
Yeah.
That's where we want to get with that. Love you, Suna. Thank you
Love
for
you.
showing up.
I experienced the most incredible, you know what, when I've taken natural plant enhancement, okay, weed, before a performance with myself or partner, but have difficulty achieving such a big bang without it. Any advice?
They're referring to what the plant does to you and how it works for you, and then finding ways to have that same sensation, would say that same state of awareness without it, you know. So if it relaxes you, so that's very personal. If it relaxes you, if it gets you out of your own mind and all that, so what are ways that you can get to that point without it, you know, if that's something that you want to do. And because if you're using it to bypass an emotion, for example, to bypass something that your mind is telling you and everything related to that, then it's not fully serving you. But if you're just doing it for the heck of it, because it feels good, because it feels loving to you, so who is judging you but you know? So that's why it's very personal. So why is it that it helps you? Is it just because it's fun and it's loving and it serves, or is it because it helps you shut something off so then you can focus on that, you know? So if there's something that you're shutting off, then you should bring that into your awareness.
I got something. Weed.
I like it.
What?
That you give a disclaimer. It's like, I got something.
Weed usually intensifies your sensations in the body. So I would say start feeling yourself, you know, not just necessarily there sexually, but every place in your body, touching yourself and feeling how this feels to you, to increase your perception of the sensations itself. And then, you know, to before you start in the, let's say, in the foreplay with yourself, doing it like that, so you can create this better connection with the sensations.
What if I use it to have the best sex of my life? Then if it's just for
Then,
that,
yeah,
why not?
go for it.
You know? As Yeshua said, no one's judging you. If it's not harming you or anyone else,
yeah,
then it's fair play.
every now and then I wake up from a dream in the act and reaching orgasm. Sometimes it's not with anyone, sometimes it's with an inanimate object, weird things like the dishwasher. What's happening with this?
They say that this energy is simply moving as it does, you know? So they say play more with it in your awareness, you know, in your conscious awareness. And don't judge yourself for any of that. It's just your body showing you the alchemy that is happening. And if I could tell you guys how many of you and us are having those experiences in the astral, it's like everyone in some way or another. And sometimes you remember it and sometimes you don't, because it's just powerful alchemy. There's nothing more than that, you know. There's nothing to be ashamed of or feeling guilty for, you know. It's just something extremely natural and beautiful of the human body, you know, and some other bodies too. So don't give that too much meaning, you know. It's great. It's beautiful. And it's just like every time it happens, like Yeshua is explaining a little bit. Every time you have sex in the astral, you are infusing your light body with love and compassion and everything, so your physical body can take another big download. They say for light workers on earth right now, 99.9% of you, when you have any sexual experience in the astral, it's because somehow you and a twin flame kind of energy, you are working together. Even if you can't see another being or anything, you are working together to infuse these beings light body, so your physical body can take more of the activations they are sending you. So then your body has a better way to translate that energy for you in your daily life, because that's what they say. It's like you receive activations a little bit at a time, so if you're not doing that consciously, let's say that you're manipulating that energy consciously, they do that when you are not conscious. They say that's very powerful information, guys. Yeah, Mary Magdalene whispered this, like, that's very powerful information.
I'm judging me, I guess.
Oh God, Julie, Yeshua just showed me like he is doing it with you.
Guys,
it's like you need that, right, Yeshua?
Is there any
Yeah, he's nonstop.
Yeah. Is there any specific breathing technique as taught in early classes, or just focus on deep breathing in general during orgasm and the affirmation?
They did teach something, like to breathe and hold and then let go. I think it's I don't know what class. It's the Mastering the Breath one.
There are two parts.
But yeah, just because because the first one, they teach us to become hyper aware of your breath, feeling everything and how it feels and how it moves and everything like that. And then they teach a specific technique in that class. So if you want to go back and listen to that, so they say that the first thing is just becoming very aware, and it doesn't matter how you breathe at first, just bringing that into the equation, we say, is the most important thing. Because it really depends on where you're taking it. There are thousands of techniques that we can explore in further classes.
I read a book recently that described the technique to increase the sensorium in the body by walking around your room and home blindfolded and not labeling what you feel. Just feel the joy of it.
That's super cool. I will need to clean my house though to do that. But
the living
really
room is already able to.
Yeah. We need to get the lights down though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So many lights.
The female cardinal is literally just knocking on my window. That's so Mary Magdalene just going like, "Hi, sister."
Did I hear Sacred Sexuality?
Yeah. Okay, go.
Mm-hmm. Have a bowl or two. Thanks for the question. Thank you so much. I also love this.
Yeah.
Yes.
All done with the questions. So,
question here.
Do you guys have any more questions? Anything regarding what we learned today?
My throat is making noises.
So, as we said, they've been circling around this theme and teaching us many techniques to work with this. And every time that we have a class like that we talk about actual sacred sexuality and they, and orgasm and everything, then everyone gets very excited. And then they go, what happened?
It was a hiccup.
Okay. I thought something happened like in your phone and someone talked.
No. Just a hiccup.
And then they will give us more and more techniques. But as I said, that we've been doing that for a year now. So we've been integrating that. So they will be bringing that subject, like more on the nose further now. Because that's what we do with the Magdalenas classes. That was the theme from the beginning that Yeshua and Mary Magdalene brought for us since the first time that we decided doing this, is that we would explore that alchemy, which they called Isis and Horus alchemy. So we will keep doing that here with the classes, and other classes might happen during other channelings and stuff, because
How long do we hold the orgasm before releasing it?
They say it's a very organic process, and then they laugh about the organic.
Yeah.
You will feel and sense it. It's not a should or could or would. It's not something that, oh, they say that brings something that they really wanted to discuss. Do not make this a job. That's very important. Don't just play with yourself for that matter. Use it and implement it in your sexual life as it comes to you. Don't make this a strict practice, so then you make that a job, and then you feel like, oh, I need to, I have meta. How do I say that?
Tasks like
No,
duties,
it's
you have
like to reach a goal. Yeah, I have this goal, and then this goal, and then this goal, because then you're going to start creating lots of expectations regarding it. And every time that something doesn't happen the way that you expected, then you're going to be feeling like shit, and then the vortex is infinite with that, right? So don't make that a job. Don't make that something that is hindering you in any way. Make that fun and playful and beautiful, and every once in a while when you decide to do that. So don't go every day trying to reach something, because it's not loving to you to do that. And the thing that we are doing here is really increasing that love and increasing that connection that you have with you, with your body, with this incarnation of the divine that is you. So don't make that a serious matter and a secret or anything like that. It's
when
not.
They say it's sacred, it doesn't, it doesn't mean anything that like it's serious. That it's like in a religion, when you say something sacred, that you have to pray every day or things like that.
Yeah, don't make it like that. So there's no limit of time. They say there is no limit of time to hold the breath or release the breath. There is no right amount of time that you should hold or release your orgasm, or there is not a frequency of the times. Just let it feel and let it come to you, and let it move and flow. So that's the first thing they talked about, that flow and healing. So just let it be the flow that it is, because it's something that is very, very simple, they say, and it's very organic. They love the word. And very sacred too, because that's you as God in a body. Now your body is sacred, your body is beautiful. So the more that you just allow it to be what it is and just let it flow, the better your practice will be, other than you just making it a chore or a chore. I think it's chore. Like Julie said, because then you're gonna be like, oh my God, I need to have sex today. It's like, that's not supposed to be like that. It's like,
I'm
I
annoyed
get
already.
to.
Just
Yeah, it's like, no,
I have to. I don't.
No,
have to
I don't have to anything. I'm a sovereign being. I can do whatever I want. So that's it. So not making it something that is sacrificial again for you.
No.
And if it's not fun, then don't do it. If you're not aligned with it, and if you just want to have normal sex, if you just want to reach orgasms very yeah. If you want to just reach orgasm with 3 minutes, I don't know, whatever it is that it is for you, just do that too. Don't make it every time that you need to feel, oh my God, I'm not breathing, oh my God, because then we start to get in our minds, and then it stops being fun, and it stops being I don't know.
Breathing though is fun because you feel everything more intensely.
Yeah, and you see that the more that you practice, the easier it is, and you will just start. It's like you are teaching your body. It's like they said, you're teaching your body a new pattern. So every time that it happens, you will trigger that, and your body was, oh, okay, so I'm supposed to breathe through this and not just hold my breath and go crazy, like ta, 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 ta. So no, breathe and let that go and let that come and let that flow within you, and don't make that a job.
Yes. Life is fun if we allow it to be.
Yeah.
This is for everything, not just for sacred sexuality. And your bodies are so beautiful and sexy, and the way it works, and the vibration and everything is just so magical, and every experience is so unique that when we try to give rules to everything that we do, it gets so monotonous and annoying. So allow yourself to feel every experience as, the powerful experience that it is just by itself. It's like seeing a new piece of art every day that you do it. It's just a different experience.
Yeshua is saying
Did
something.
I trip?
Oh, Yeshua loved it. And he's saying, yes, that's it. Like every time I was with my beloved in that capacity, it was like the first time and it was like the millionth time.
Yeah.
Because we mastered that together, So no, we didn't only practice it in that kind of way. And yes, every time that we practice it, it was alchemy because it is nonetheless. But sometimes it was just for fun because we could.
Yes.
So, yep.
Dare to live and dare to try. You're the best motivational speaker.
You do you. I'm here for you. You're awesome and I love you. That's not creepy at all.
Oh boy. I tell myself all the time, my only job on earth is to have fun. Yes.
Yeshua's like, that's my girl.
Reminds me of the book he channeled through Tina Spalding called Making Love to God.
I want to read that too. I wonder if they would let me read it though.
I just ordered that book last night on Amazon. That's awesome. I heard nothing but good about it. That's my first time hearing about it. Now I'm curious.
Oh, I've seen them talking about it all the time. There were many times I gave up breathing, but now I can really move the energy where I want. Don't overwhelm yourself and allow and flow with what is working. Exactly.
Yes.
And it's what they said throughout the whole class. It's like your body will want release and it's okay. It's a practice. It takes a while for you to get used to moving that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they let you read it? Oh, it's because I just get the download and I want to read it, enjoying every page. That's what I meant. Sometimes I just hold the book and they go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just not as fun. I love Tina Spalding though. Okay, guys, so gotta go because my bladder is about to explode.
I'm so hungry. Aren't you hungry?
Really? Nope. Every time I channel Yeshua, I don't feel hungry, which is weird because everyone else, I'm hungry as soon as it's over. But I need to like remind myself to eat throughout the day because I don't feel hungry. I love your funny voices. I just can't stop with it. So glad you have fun with them. I love you guys. So thank you so much. So we're going to have awesome classes. They've been talking so much. I'm receiving so many downloads and so much information that I'm like needing time. I can't even watch other people's channel right now. And I love doing that. But it's like, it's too much because I need like a clean space, to receive everything. So they are coming with so many things and so many practices for us to do together, and things for next month already. And I'm like, guys, just chill. So we have so many things in store. I'm so glad that you're all here with us. Thank you so much. And we have Yeshua tomorrow for a channeling. And we're going to do it on Zoom and YouTube. But whoever is on Zoom, you can come on screen and talk to him. So we'll be at 8 our time, London time. And that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be in trance for most of it, I think. I think I'm going to do it like last time. I'm going to do some awake because then I can participate.
Like a pause.
Pause. And then Yeshua will come and answer your question. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It always is. So thank you so much. We love you.
We love you.
And we're going to post the PDF.
Yeah, and I'm going to post the dance on the groups and on Patreon.
Just dance.
Just dance.
Just dance. That's not how it's said. Anyways. See you guys soon.
See you.
Bye.